So, students, today we will discuss whatever is left in the stomach. See, 95% of the carcinoma stomach is adenocarcinoma. Rest 5% are GIST, gastrointestinal stromal tumor, lymphoma, carcinoid, etc. GIST, gastrointestinal stromal tumor, it is a mesenchymal tumor. It arises from mesenchyme, that is specifically interstitial cells of Kajal is the cells of origin for the GIST. GIST occurs anywhere in the GI tract, but most common site is stomach. 50% of cases it occurs in stomach. Okay. Men and women are equally involved, and it's usually submucosal tumor. Okay, so how these patients present to you? Mostly in early cases they are asymptomatic, but when they ulcerate, it can lead to melena, hematemesis, pain abdomen. Okay, vague symptoms can occur from GIST. Okay, so how do you diagnose GIST? Well, when you do an upper GI endoscopy, you will see a ball-like mass with a normal overlying mucosa. Mucosa overlying is normal because it arises from the submucosa. Okay, so that's the problem. Well demarcated submucosal ball-like lesion will be there. Usually biopsy is not advocated, as we'll have to ulcerate the mucosa and then go in the submucosa. It will be a D. So basically, endoscopic ultrasound guided biopsy or FNAC is recommended for these patients. If it is not available, CT scan, CECT will give you a fairly good idea that this tumor is nothing but GIST, because there will be a small homogeneous density mass, localized mass with overlying normal mucosa. Okay, so you can do an endoscopic ultrasound, you can do upper GI endoscopy and CECT. CECT is the diagnosis, is the investigation of choice for diagnosis of GIST. Well, and then how do we treat them? Usually small tumor, wedge resection means you resect the tumor bearing area and then repair the wall. If it is very large and if there is evidence of malignancy, see, GIST are usually benign, but if the size is big, like more than 5 centimeter, more than 10 mitotic figures are there per high power field, or if mets are there, then it's taken as malignant as well. So size is very important determinant. If larger size, partial gastrectomy or subtotal gastrectomy may be needed. GIST usually do not involve lymph nodes, so lymph node dissection is not needed. They usually metastasize to the liver in the late cases. Okay, so this is about GIST. Another tumor which can occur in the stomach is lymphoma, gastric lymphoma. You see that stomach normally doesn't have any lymphoid tissue. Okay, but because of the various infection, especially H. pylori, can lead to lymphoid cells, especially B cell lymphoid tissue in the submucosa. And so stomach lymphoma can be usually they are primary lymphomas, they arise there, or it can be a part of secondary lymphoma as well. But primary lymphoma is more common. Okay, it can be localized or it can involve a large part of area, generalized as well. These patients will also present to you like they present in carcinoma stomach with pain, hematemesis, melena, fatigue, fever, not feeling well. Okay, early satiety, things like that. And diagnosis usually an upper GI endoscopy and multiple biopsy will tell you that this is not adenocarcinoma, this is lymphoma. CECT is needed as well. Okay. Treatment of gastric lymphoma, in early cases when it is localized, H. pylori eradication is very important. You have to eradicate H. pylori by triple therapy, isn't it? PPI, clarithromycin, amoxicillin, and sometimes eradication of H. pylori leads to a cure of the disease in early cases. Okay. Otherwise, chemotherapy is mainstay. If it is localized and causing complications like it is bleeding, it is cause perforations, cause obstruction, then of course surgery is needed, and you will do radical subtotal gastrectomy or radical total gastrectomy depending upon the site. But if it in early cases, H. pylori eradication and chemotherapy is needed. In generalized lymphomas, or if greater part of stomach is involved, then again chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is the standard treatment for gastric lymphoma. Okay. So this is how you manage the. Sometimes the small conditions are there, trichobezoar and phytobezoar. You know, in young females especially, or they got some psychiatric problem, they usually ingest hair, and these hair are undigested and they lie for a long time in the stomach and can form a tough ball and can lead to obstruction, intestinal obstruction if they obstruct pylorus. Okay, so this is called trichobezoar. In some patients, it has been seen that even vegetables can accumulate and form a ball and can cause obstruction. That is called phytobezoar. So these are some of the rare conditions of the stomach. Then you have volvulus of the stomach, where stomach can twist on itself. You see, the stomach can either twist horizontally on itself, or it can twist on that is called organoaxial, or vertically, or mesenteroaxial. Okay, and the patient will present with severe acute pain, vomiting, shock, and all. They are usually associated with paraesophageal hernia also. So diagnosis will be by endoscopy or CT scan, contrast enhanced CT, and the treatment will be surgical open reduction. And if there is diaphragmatic hernia, you have to repair the diaphragmatic hernia. Okay, so this finishes stomach. Duodenal carcinomas, adenocarcinomas are usually part of periampullary carcinoma that we will discuss later. There is one condition called Zollinger-Ellison syndrome. This is basically because of the gastrinomas, which can occur anywhere in the head of pancreas, and there is a triangle formed above by the cystic duct and the common bile duct, below by the junction of the second and third part of duodenum, and medially by the junction of the head and body of the pancreas. In this part, various gastrin-producing tumors can have gastrinoma. They are part of MEN1, where parathyroid tumors is also associated. These patients can usually have fulminant acid peptic disorder. Multiple ulcers occur in not only in first part but second part, third part of duodenum, and they are tough to treat. But these days, because of the availability of the good PPI, the early stages can be controlled by PPI, and later on we'll have to treat it by surgery or removal of the gastrin-producing tumor. So I think this finishes the stomach, and after that we will start esophagus sometime. Okay.